and welcome to yet another episode of After the Bell, the Ramagya School podcast where we have candid conversations with leaders who've built meaningful lives. Today you have joined us with your host Niyati Bhati
and Abbas Ali.
And with us we have someone who speaks the language of young people better than anybody, Mr. Ankur Warikoo.
A teacher at heart who also happens to be an entrepreneur. That's Mr. Ankur in a sentence. His journey has been anything but linear. From studying physics as his bachelor, to then pursuing PhD in the US, to then dropping out to pursue his career as an entrepreneur in India. From writing best-selling books to now becoming one of the most influential content creators in India.
Hello and welcome to After the Bell, Mr. Warikoo. We are truly excited to have you here and we're glad you'll share some insightful thoughts today. We're going to learn a lot from you.
Thank you.
So we all are aware of the honesty with which you talk about your fear, failures, discipline, money and other choices, right? And you make life lessons feel more real and relatable for each one of us, which is exactly why you're here on this podcast. I would like to start this conversation with something very simple. So since you have so openly talked about dropping out of your PhD to follow your own direction, that is doing what you truly love to, how did you deal with the fear of, or maybe the pressure of disappointing people, be it your parents, your friends or anybody?
I don't think I had a choice, Nirati, because when it was very clear to me that the PhD will not make sense, the only choice I had was moving out of it. I did realize that it would disappoint my parents, my family, of course myself as well. But then I also at some level had that confidence that life is going to work out. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, I didn't know whether as well. But I knew that if I persisted, I would give myself a shot of doing something in life, whether it was change of a career, change of a plan, going to a different education and so on. And I think that confidence came from just the fact that my parents had worked so hard to give my sister and I a life where we are not ever going to be on the streets. We are never going to struggle for कि अगले वक्त का खाना कहाँ से आएगा, कपड़े कहाँ से आएंगे. Life is sorted in so many ways that you now can only go up. And I think that hope more than confidence drove me. I stand here as an absolute pure admission that मैं बहुत डरा हुआ था. And I had no idea whether things will work out sooner than later. So I remain very grateful that things worked out. लेकिन कहीं ये भी उम्मीद थी, hope था that things will work out because इतना तो अकल है that I will going to make it happen.
Absolutely, sir. I think the students would relate to it very much, because I feel like us as students, we often feel torn between what we want to do and what others expect us to do, right? I would really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So, okay, I'm just continuing with what with your conversation with Niyati now.
Yeah.
When you were doing your PhD in US, what was the major turning point of when you thought that no, this is not for me, I'll trust my intuition and my passion?
Yeah, frankly कोई ऐसा turning point नहीं था. It was just 2 years of constant realization that I was good at this but I wasn't enjoying it. Like there was, when you enjoy things and you also know when you don't enjoy things. So it was very clear to me that I was getting up every day but there was no excitement. There was nothing to look forward to in the day. I would go up, do my classes, come back home, give the exams. I would top the exams, but there was nothing that was telling me, "Maza aa raha hai." I feel it. And that over 2 years is just a really strong signal. You can feel it for 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe 1 month, 2 months, but 2 साल तक वो रोज feel करना then is a clear sign something is wrong and you need to fix it. And for me, it was very clear that this should not be what I'm doing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, we as a school truly believe in the power of possibility. We are genuinely curious to know what the term possibility really means to you when you think of the young leaders of today, as in the young students.
It's perhaps the most powerful word, Niyati, because possibility means you can take any shape and form that you wish to, as long as you hold your identity. What I mean by that is, do you know of this guy called Bruce Lee?
course.
Yeah.
Controlled everyone.
उसका ना एक बड़ा अच्छा इंटरव्यू है, which is a really long interview. It's a black and white interview from I think the 70s or something. But there is a certain section in it which is very powerful, where he says, "Be like water."
Yeah.
And what he means is that if you were to pour water in a cup, it becomes the cup. If you were to pour the water in a kettle, it becomes the kettle. If you were to pour it in a bucket, it becomes the bucket. If you were to make it run like a river, it becomes the river. But the water holds its identity. वो पानी है. But the shape can be anything that you desire it to be. And that's when he says, be like water. That you are Ankur and Apas and Niyati, but you can tomorrow be a scientist, day after be an author, the day after can be a sports person, can be a musician, can be a father, can be a sister, can be a dancer, can be a politician, can be an entrepreneur. You can be anybody that you wish to be, as long as you know who you are and you just take different shapes and form. That for me is possibility. Now that sounded like such a grand idea when we were growing up, लेकिन हमारे पास ना इतने ज़रिए नहीं थे. We didn't have those many options. But today you do. In 2025, you can actually become whosoever you want to become. Nothing stops you. Every career is legit. Every country is open. You with a smartphone, a laptop, or an internet connection can cater to the entire world. There are no boundaries anymore. And that is incredible as a world to live in, because now endless possibilities are there. Nothing stops you. Nothing. Except your own boundaries कि नहीं जी मुझे तो डॉक्टर ही बनना है. And there's so many people who are like, oh, मैं अब डॉक्टर बन गई तो मैं जिंदगी भर डॉक्टर ही बनी रहूंगी. No. Just because you chose medicine, which the two of you have, it doesn't mean that you have to become a doctor for the rest of your life. It simply means that is what you've chosen today. And tomorrow, you could become anybody else as long as you wish to and you have the desire to. That's the possibility I talk about.
Thank you so much. That's such a nice perspective. I appreciate that.
So now I'll diverge kind of away from the topic of possibility. I'll talk about failure. Okay. So suppose a teenager who's currently preparing for any competitive exam, be it JEE, NEET, or any CA, Chartered Accountancy, anything. So for him, if he takes failure as a setback rather than a canon event that that will happen to him, that happens to everybody.
Yeah.
So what piece of advice would you like to give to that teenager?
It's funny. I just tweeted this morning, Abbas. When you're young, failure is a data point. It is not destiny. And I truly believe in that. I remember when I did not make it to JEE, not once but twice, I felt my life is over. खत्म हो गया, जिंदगी बर्बाद है, कुछ नहीं कर सकता अब मैं, ऐसे ही रहूँगा. But today I stand here very well aware that my life turned out to be okay, and it was simply because I made the mistake कि अगर वो मेरा गोल है और ये पाथ मैंने चूज किया है, तो मेरे गोल तक पहुंचने के लिए सिर्फ यही एक पाथ है. That is wrong. I didn't know of that. Today I know. I know that to reach that point, I not just have this path, I have millions of other paths. But we are obsessed with that one path that we are on, and the world makes us believe कि यही path है, और अगर इस पे तुम नहीं जीत पाए, तो जिंदगी बर्बाद है. And it's funny that yesterday I shot a video on YouTube, which is the biggest lie that parents tell their kids, which is अगर JEE नहीं हुआ तो जिंदगी बर्बाद है. It's not true. It isn't. Because IIT जाना या एम्स जाना is not the end of your life. It is the start of your life.
Exactly.
उसके बाद तो इतना और कुछ करना है. That's just the door to a new world. But there are millions of such doors that will open you up to millions of other such worlds. And that's why it's not destiny. It's just a data point.
Okay. Thank you so much for.
So nowadays, like it's a very common known thing. Like nowadays, students, they feel very lost and unsure about the future.
Yeah.
Right? And due to that, they often feel like they don't think they'll be able to make through life. Right? They're so worried about the future. So, for the students who feel so stuck and like confused about their path, what is that one small step they can take right now to start moving forward instead of like constantly worrying about what's going on?
That's a great question. Number one, it's not today that student feels confused. Students have felt confused every single generation. It is symbolic of being young. Young का मतलब क्या है? Young का मतलब ये थोड़ी है कि आप young हैं. Young का मतलब ये है आपके पास तजुर्बा या experience नहीं है. So you don't have as many data points to tell you how to live life. So if something happens to you for the first time, you don't know how to deal with it. But if something happens to you for the 50th time, you know exactly how to deal with it. So the difference between you and me is simply that I have experienced things 50 times over and you may have experienced it only once. That's the only difference. There's no difference in intellect. There's no difference in the intensity. There's no difference in ambition. It is simply मैंने कुछ चीज़ ज़्यादा देखी है, आपने उतनी नहीं देखी है. And that's why I tell, please as a student, don't try to run away from this confusion. Embrace it. ये confusion आपका best friend है, क्योंकि अगर आप clarity की तरफ जाएंगे, आप हमेशा FOMO में जिएंगे. If you choose, let's say, medicine and you are super clear that that is the only thing you need to do, the second you see somebody else making a different choice in life, you'll be like, oh shit, मैंने गलत decision तो नहीं ले लिया. क्या ये सही है मेरे लिए कि नहीं है? But if you go to embrace this confusion, मुझे नहीं पता है, मैं PCB भी कर सकती हूँ, मैं PCM भी कर सकती हूँ, मैं कॉमर्स भी ले सकती हूँ, मैं ह्यूमैनिटीज़ में भी जा सकती हूँ, मैं स्पोर्ट्स में भी जा सकती हूँ, मैं कुछ और भी कर सकती हूँ. You will have a path of how to get to a point of decision. Now, how do you get to that? To the question that you asked. The only way to do that is to speak to as many people as you can who have gone through this journey. Not to get an answer, but to build data points. तो imagine करिए कि आप अभी तो PCB पे निकल गए हैं कि हमें नीट करना है, लेकिन आप 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 साल के एक्सपीरियंस वाले लोगों से बात करेंगे जिन्होंने नीट किया था एंड आज डॉक्टर हैं, या उन्होंने नीट किया था, डॉक्टर बने और आज डॉक्टर नहीं हैं, और जिन्होंने नीट किया था लेकिन वो कर भी नहीं पाए और उन्होंने कुछ और किया था, टू गेट अ पर्सपेक्टिव कि होता क्या है. What is it to become a doctor? What is the life that I'm signing up for? What are the opportunities I'm signing up for? What are the possibilities I'm signing up for? Am I excited about them? Do they limit me? Do they set me free? All of those will help you because you're confused and you need some help with that confusion. So please embrace this confusion by speaking to people as much as you can who have done it already. Because if you keep reinventing the wheel, that's such a waste of the collective wisdom of the world that has come before you. Why would you do that? That's why I love books. The reason why books are awesome is because books are the collective wisdom of somebody who came before you. It is not a form of expression. It is your best way to learn from somebody else's life for peanuts. For the cost of what maybe a full-size Domino's pizza also doesn't cost. उससे सस्ती किताबें होती हैं. And it's ridiculous, the arbitrage, but that's the way. They just get data points.
Thank you so much, sir, for that. Thank you so much.
Okay, so for this question, we are also going to go a little off topic.
Sure.
Okay, so be it a student from any background, PCB, PCM, humanities, arts, commerce. So if they want to get into business, if they want to get into finance or how money works, so how would you think that they should dive into the world of finance if they have zero prior knowledge of how money works?
Everybody has zero prior knowledge at some point of time or not. The best way to learn about money is to start using money, which starts by earning money and then start spending money. So please, as a student, start earning money. There is a concept of child labor, which is forced labor, but the concept of child labor, which is voluntary labor, 100% should be implemented. I personally believe every kid above 15 should be working. And it's ridiculous that we only spend our time studying. That too for stupid exams that don't make any sense in our life. Please start earning. There is no culture in our society for kids of our strata to be working at Starbucks, to be working at McDonald's, to be driving as an Uber driver. Well, you can't, but let's say you could. क्योंकि हमें लगता है अरे ये छोटे जॉब्स हैं, ये तो बाकी लोग करते हैं, हम नहीं करते हैं, हम अच्छे परिवार से हैं, बकवास. None of that. when you start earning, you realize for the first time the value of money. कि जो पैसा हम ऐसे ही उड़ा देते हैं उसको कमाने में कितनी फाइट लगती है. Number 2, then you start spending money. So you make choices. अगर आपके पास सिर्फ 500 रुपए ही है and that's the only money you have, you will make a decision on how to spend that 500. You will choose what is important, what is not important, what should be cut and what should be given more of. And then that will set you up on the journey of how do you understand your relationship with money, which is the biggest thing you're trying to understand. Ki, what do I feel comfortable spending money on? What do I not ever feel comfortable spending money on? Why is that the reason? And what can I do to change it if I want to change it? Or what can I do to more of it if I want to do more of it? But start by earning.
Okay, thank you so much. So that was your life-changing advice, I would say. We don't really talk to many people about these things, right? So now that we're coming to an end of this podcast, I would really appreciate if you could give a message to us that we can carry with us long after this podcast.
The message, Niyati, will be simple, the same thing that I said in the session as well. Become a student for life. There is no end of education and start of working life. The entire life should be that as a student. The best individuals that I know of who have become immensely successful, who are inspiring, who I would want to emulate, they are constantly learning, constantly telling themselves, I don't know enough, I don't know enough. And that's what sets them apart. And you want to be that person.
Okay, so I mean, obviously, it has been a long time since you finished your schooling years. So, how did you feel coming to our school and dedicating your entire day to our school and hosting the workshop? So, did you feel there's a subtle change in the education system right now?
Kids are certainly far more aware, far more confident. I can't imagine being you when I was in school. I would be like really shitting in my pants, and you are, of course, I understand it's nervous and I understand that there's nervous energy, but the way that you conduct yourself, the fact that you are hosting a podcast, the fact that you think about these initiatives, that itself is such a huge change from the time that I grew up and I was a student. So the world has really, really changed in a good way. I enjoyed my time. I love hanging out with students. I genuinely believe that there's so much positive energy and irrational optimism that is so contagious, because when I speak with adults, they're all like, zindagi aisi hai, samaj aisa hi hai, desh aisa hi hai, वगैरह वगैरह. But hanging out with rebels who would not accept the world at face value but instead question it, that is just energy I love, and I always find it in every school that I go to. So thank you for having me.
Thank
you so much.
You had a great time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.